the Chief Scout, Professor Badri Katerega, with all your titles which you named there when you were speaking, the Chairman of the National Scouts Council, the Chief Commissioner of the Scouts, the Camp Chief of the Scouts, all the teachers, trainers, inspectors of schools, sports officers from local government present, the LC1 chairman of this village, all the leaders and invited guests in your distinguished categories, all the Scouts, ladies and gentlemen. Scouts, we. I bring you greetings from the patron of the Scouts of Uganda, His Excellency, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda. I have listened to the messages from the leaders of the Scouts Association of Uganda, and I have heard that there is need for the patron to intervene urgently on issues to do with the pledges, the land of the Scouts that has been grabbed, the policy issues of reviewing the law, etc. I want to pledge and promise you that I will relay all those issues to the highest destination.
Very good.
I want to thank you for welcoming me as the newest Scouts member in Uganda.
Asante sana.
I accept the responsibility and I will obey all the rules and regulations of the Scouts.
Asante sana.
I will also help to fast track, especially the responses to the issues raised today from the office of His Excellency the President.
Ishika.
Including ensuring that a meeting is arranged between the leaders of the Scouts Association with His Excellency the President in the near future.
Very good.
When I was a young child, I used to hear the Scouts in my primary school singing that song which has been sung today. And the last time I heard that song was when I was in primary. I am very glad to hear it again today. About the motto.
Scouts be prepared is our motto. Scouts be prepared is our motto. Scouts be prepared is our motto. Our vice patron is singing.
Our motto.
Thank you.
One of the vibrant associations in Uganda is Scouts. I congratulate you and thank you because it is your efforts. That's why the association is vibrant indeed in the region. And the 3 million Scouts which the Chief Scout has talked about are very prominent members of the community across the country, and they help the citizens to follow and embrace and get support from the government programs. So I encourage you to continue being attached to the community.
Asante sana.
And Professor Kadirega, you are one of our very distinguished cadres, very patriotic and always wanting to lead the young ones to the right path.
Very good.
I first interacted with you when I was a Minister of State for Youth. At that time I was relatively young. And you would always say that the young ones should emulate and take mentors from the elderly people and listen to their advice. When I was a Minister of Education, you again made me one of the beneficiaries of your wise counsel by always keeping very close to me on matters of the policies of education in our country, even traveling with me to Kenya, one of the institutions there where you are a shareholder. Thank you for standing firm in light of the education of the African child.
Asante sana.
When the right time comes, I want to implore you, our cadre, very patriotic cadre, to guide all those 3 million Scouts to support His Excellency the President in the 2026 elections. I will now go straight away to read the message of His Excellency the President, who is a patron of the Scouts in Uganda. You have named me the Vice Patron, but I will, until he gives a nod, I am still an ordinary Scout. I'm sure Chief Scout that this is like the army. So you draw instructions and orders from the highest hierarchy. But I am very glad and I am very optimistic that when I give him the report, he might respond in the affirmative. You all have been to pray. But this is his message now to you. I would like to thank Owechitibwa, Professor Badru Dungu Katerega, the Chief Scout of Uganda, for inviting me to attend the closing ceremony of this year's National Scouts Education Camp. I congratulate all the young Scouts and their esteemed Scout leaders on a successful Scout camp under the theme, Scouting for a Better World. I wish to thank the organizers, the leaders of Uganda Scouts Association, and all the people who have contributed in different ways to make this year's camp a success. The NRM government is committed to empowering the next generation of leaders through patriotism training, Scout camps, and many other programs. Scouting is about character and attitude formation. It helps to mold future citizens. It aims at contributing towards the education of the young through a value system based on the Scout promise and the law. You people must be equipped to play a constructive role in society. The size, energy, enthusiasm, and dynamism of youth are assets that can be harnessed for Uganda and Africa's development with appropriate policies that deal adequately with the issues facing them. The character of Scouts has always been valued. Scouting doesn't only help them to have more confidence in themselves, but also to gain employment and positions of influence in the future. The exposure to extracurricular activities prepares Scouts to become leaders in their communities. I therefore urge the Scouts that have successfully completed this training to endeavor to apply the lessons learned here in your daily lives. You should strive to act as the change makers and problem solvers in the community. The Scout movement continues to grow from strength to strength. I applaud the Scouts for using their platform to fight against HIV/AIDS, global warming, communicable diseases, etc. I urge the young Scouts all over the country to also join the war against poverty and social backwardness. Poverty in Uganda is on account of the fact that we still have 38% of the homesteads outside the money economy. They are in the subsistence economy of working only for food. You cannot expect to achieve prosperity if you do not have a source of income that enables you to meet your needs for clothing, housing, medicine.
We have told them, even with the little money we have, personal and otherwise, and so far we have saved something, but we already overcame. The brothers have even started threatening our security, both personal and institutional. Dear Chief Guest, given your background in scouting, we can say practically and theoretically, now you are one of us in the scouting movement.
Scouts, be prepared is our motto. Scouts is our 1, 2, 3, come on.
And it is our singular honor and privilege to invite you to officially be recruited and be invested in the scouting fraternity.
Sio mbaya. Sio mbaya. Sio. Thank you.
We appreciate government which sponsors the 2 billion shillings per financial year, but we are receiving currently only 500 million, which is too little to facilitate our planned programs and activities. Thank the government for even the little we have received. But we if you look to our aspect of more. Your Excellency, you may wish to know that we are currently running a youth movement of close to 3 million scouts. So ours is one of the biggest scouting organizations in Africa. In the whole world, there are about 60 million scouts. And in Uganda alone, we are talking about 3 million. So we are not a group to do.
Very good.
So we humbly request our guest of honor that the financial support we are currently getting be increased to the initial rate of 2 billion shillings as it used to be at the beginning. In the beginning we got, but it has constantly been to that miserable figure. We also requested the government to review and amend, as I said before, the Scouts and the Girl Guides Act of 1922, as amended in 1963, which apparently is out of date and difficult to operationalize in the current circumstances. We are losing also cases here and there because we have removed the act. People ask me, who are you? A company, a government body, what are you, and so on. So our participants, let me thank you for turning up in such big numbers, and I ask you to put in use all that you have learned here during our short stay. That's my message to you, Scouts and participants. We specifically implore the Scouts to promote Scout spirit and brotherhood. We want to raise the Scouts who will generous in the safeguard Scouts property, Scouts assets, Scouts land for the future generation. That's why we are here on the spirit program. We equally extend our renewed appreciation to the parents, the guardians, the sponsors, and friends of our participants and of our organization. To the organizers, all of you, of this year's camp, we thank you for such a glamorous camp. And we thank you for your spirit of volunteerism. I thank our commanders of the military police and other security personnel, our local leaders, and members of the media for turning up and for the mutual support. Finally, we request you, Your Excellency, to convey our best regard and felicitation to our beloved elders, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda. Scouts, we! Scouts, wa!
We!
We!
Wa 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 wa!
As in wa 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 wa!
We!
Sing a different song now.
Ekunyu kunyu welo maido, ah welo. 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 Ekunyu kunyu welo maido, ah welo.
Okay, thank you so much. With the deepest respect, I remain yours in service. Always giver, Ambassador, Alhaj, Dr. Blessers, Professor Emeritus, National Hero, Vice Chancellor Kampala University.
Jebaleko nyabo.
Kale sebo nawe jebaleko.
Buyanjira abakulaba ku Kedde TV otubuulire kiki ekiri wano olunaku olwaleero ye omukolo gutambudde gutya.
Amanya nze Nyiramahoro Alice, Chief Commissioner Uganda Scouts Association. Olwaleero tuli ku mukolo ogw'okugalawo kampu ebadde wano okuva ennaku z'omwezi nga 23 paka olwaleero 28. Ezo z'ennaku 5 zetumaze wano nga tukampinga wano ng'ebyabasikawutu baffe bye tukola, tuzimba obusiisira, tubadde tuwuga, tuyize okukuuma obutonde n'ebirala bingi.
Mukoze mutya okulaba nti nno kino ekintu kibadde successful paka ku lunaku olusembayo?
Ekisooka twebaziza Mukama kuba yatuyambye kutuuka ku bino bye tuliko byonna. Ne twebaza ne patroni waffe obuyambi bwagenze atuwa. Ne tweyanza ne ba sponsor abamu abatuwadde ku buyambi bw'essente n'ebyokulya. Ne twebaza ne ba district leaders abasobodde okuwayo abaana. Ne twebaza n'abazadde ku ssente nabo ze bateekamu okusindika abaana baabwe bajje mu kampu. Abo bonna mbeebaza ate batusobozesa okumalako kampu bulungi.
Okusinziira ku nkambi ebadde ennaku 5, ekintu bwe tuba tunuulidde omukolo gwonna basinze nnyo kutunuulira ku kintu ky'ettaka eribbibwa oba eriri abantu abajja okubba ettaka ly'abasikawutu. Ekizibu ekyo olowooza mugenda kyeŋŋaŋa mutya, mugenda kimalawo mutya?
Ekizibu ekyo tukoowodde patroni waffe abadde akiikiriddwa vice we, nga tusuubira tewali ayinza kuwakanya pulezidenti kyasazeewo. Lino ttaka lyaweebwa abasikawutu era lirina kusigala lyabasikawutu. Kati abo abeerimba nti baabaguza baagula mpewo oba tebiriiyo, ettaka lirina kutuddira. Ate tusabye pulezidenti waffe atuyambe tusobole okulikomyawo abasikawutu. Njagala kwebaza abasikawutu bonna, ntandikidde ku Chief Scout waffe ow'ekitiibwa Professor Badru Katerega, nebaza Chairperson Council, nebaza Chairperson Board, ne ba committee members bonna abatuula ku kakiiko ak'obusikawutu. Njagala kwebaza ba district leaders abasobodde kuleeta abaana wano. Nebaza n'abasikawutu abaana okubeera n'omutima ogwo ogw'okujumbira scouting. Ne nebaza n'abatuwadde ensimbi tusobole okuddukanya omukolo guno. Bonna mbeebaza, mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala, nga seerabidde n'abazadde baffe okutuwa abaana bajje bakampinge wano.
Thank you, Scouts, for us.
the Scout Jazz Band. And I want to take this opportunity to tell you that when your region won the netball, and after we are bringing the trophies, the netball competition. We had the festival.
Our chief guest, distinguished guests who have come with us in the closing ceremony today. Good afternoon, everyone. As we have short time here, I would like to extend my appreciation to our chief guest for accepting our invitation and have come with us. Our chief guest, I also want to request that we take our appreciation to His Excellency, our patron, the President of Uganda, for continuously supporting the movement and everything gives us, the Scouts. We are really very grateful. To add on that, I also want to appreciate our commissioner, because he also guides us and helps us in everything we are doing. I want to give these prayers that you may take them, our patron, for the assistance. First and foremost, as you look at this number which is here, our chief guest, our land was grabbed. It is not enough for us. We are requesting our patron, our president, to fight for us and we bring back our Scout land. We have nowhere to camp free because it has been grabbed. The second prayer, we thank the government for continuously funding us, but the funds are not enough. Looking at the way the numbers are growing, districts are joining, we still request that you may add us more funds. We also want to remind His Excellency, our patron, the President of Uganda, of the pledges he made to us. The bus, a pickup, brass band, among others. We request His Excellency, the President of Uganda, if he can avail us with the time so that we sit with him, we talk with him. We have many challenges we want to discuss with him face to face. It will carry more weight when he's looking at us, even our pride. I want to thank you for coming and pray that may God bless you as you go back to your place of stay. I will remain Nyiramahoro Alice, the Chief Commissioner, Uganda Scouts Association. At this juncture, I request the Chairman Council to also come here and give his highlights.
Our guest of honor, the President of the Republic of Uganda, who is the patron of the Uganda Scout Association, properly represented by the First President of the Republic of Uganda, Her Excellency, Honorable Jesica Alupo, the commissioner in charge of scouting, MPs present, civic and religious leaders, local leaders, scout leaders at all levels, scouts from all the scouting districts of Uganda, military police and other security organs who work closely with participants to this education camp, our funders, donors, and friends. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to you all. As we converge here today at the National Scouts Education Camp here at Kaazi, National Scouts Camping and Training Center, allow me welcome in a big way our guest of honor, the President of the Republic of Uganda, duly represented by the Vice President, Honorable Jesica, Alupo.
Bravo!
Do it again in the Scout way.
Welcome the guest of honor, everybody.
Thank you. The Vice President is representing His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, our beloved patron, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, General Yoweri Kaguta Tebahagura Museveni. And you don't clap.
Asante sana.
I am very happy. I'm also pleased at the same time to receive Her Excellency the Vice President, both in her personal capacity and in the capacity of representing our patron, His Excellency the President. Mama, you are most welcome. But these people don't know that you are a very kind lady. You are sagacious and indomitable.
Very good.
We have worked with the Vice President at different levels. And she was also Minister of Education. She even became our chief guest at the East African University in Kenya. So we have been moving together with the Vice President. So don't worry, she's a very good lady, and Madam feel at home. The late Kajira used to tell us, feel at home. Before I proceed, allow me, Your Excellency, to bring to your attention what is scouting and how briefly it came to Uganda. I've decided to put down these things in a brief form so that I don't forget anything. Otherwise, I am capable of remembering as much as possible. So Scouting is a worldwide youth movement founded in 1907 by the British General Lord Robert Stevenson Smith Baden-Powell. Baden-Powell is our founder. Can you see the bit? In Uganda, Scouting was introduced in 1915 by a church missionary society reverend, Canon H.M. Grace, who had first operated in Mbarara. He was the oldest scout who knew what scouting was all about. Was a regiment. He operated in Banana State and she was there. Later he came back to Qatar. So the Boy Scouts and Girl Guides Act, Caption 45, was enacted on 22nd March 1922. So we have been operating under that act. It was renewed by 1963, and now it is full of force. So one of our major requests, Madam Vice President, is to have the Scouting Act reviewed by Parliament.
Very good.
Thank you. In Uganda, as we said, the Boy Scouts and Guides Act, Caption 45, was enacted in 1922 long ago. It no longer suits the current circumstances. This later was granted a legal status by an Act of Parliament in 1963, which later transitioned into the Uganda Scouts Association, currently under the aegis of the Ministry of Education and Sport. That's where our patron directed us to go, and we are comfortable so far. Scouting globally is under the World Organization of the Scout Movement, WUZO, whose headquarters are in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, with regional offices for Africa in Nairobi, also on the African Regional Office, ARO. Our guest of honor, Your Excellency, the Vice President, allow me to give you a brief about the youth, or the Youth Scouts, whom you are seeing today. This year's camp, which has attracted over 7,000 youth from all the scouting districts of Uganda in the country, is one of its kind, and you have already seen it.
Kachingala, kachingala, kachin, chin, chin.
Your Excellency, at the end of this camp,
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Please introduce yourself to the viewers, tell us your name, and tell us which event is taking place.
Thank you very much. I'm called Odororium Charles, the chairperson, National Scout Council. Today we have come to the closure of the national camp for the year 2024. This function started on the 23rd and it ran through up to today, when the chief guest who came to close the function is none other than the patron of Uganda Scout Association, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. But he delegated this function to the Vice President, High Excellency, Major Jesica Alupo, who came and carried out the function very well. We completed very successfully. We are grateful for the state for coming and honoring this function and coming to close this national camp, which brought over 7,000 scouts from all over Uganda, and the youth who have come here came from about 80 districts in Uganda. When we talk of districts, there are districts, then cities, and then municipalities, which are scout districts. So here the youth had very good engagement. They were given issues on health care. The youth team had a workshop and they trained on various skills, among them safe from harm, whereby they're supposed to operate under a safe environment, safety for themselves and safety for others. They train in soap making, they train in first aid, they train in swimming. There was camping every evening that they were here, cultural activities, and several areas including environmental protection, which is very key. And of course, health to themselves, how to take care about themselves. We had, of course, also engagement with the elders on the camp. We have a 10-day training for leaders who are training to become wood badge holders. At the same time, we also had a number of other activities like swimming with competitions. There was netball competition, there was football, and other activities that was carried out. Everything went on very successfully, and we are very grateful. There was no serious health problem, no accidents, and the majority of the people here have ended up very happy, and they will go home happy. We appeal to them. When they go home, they should practice what they've learned here. They should go and also train others who will remain behind there. Yeah, so it was very, very good.
Thank you very much. The speech mostly I've noted that
ladies and gentlemen, once again we thank you for coming
from the president
to this camp
which are still
2024, the National Training Camp.
The press
Now,
band and the 2
I'm going to
billion
request
which
the
has to
chairperson
run the
board
districts like to help the
to lead
heads
us
and the head of scouts
in the
different
closing
districts.
session.
And
You will
just
invite our special guest
and how
to
are we going
greet
to make
us.
sure
I
that
don't
this,
know how
this
you're going to
request
close
can
the
come
session,
to the
but
scouts
all
so
the
that they can
powers
move
from the
their work
embassy
successfully.
have been
Yeah,
given to
I
the
think let's make it
chairperson
clear.
of the board. Thank you.
Once,
Thank you very much once again.
you
The
have
MC for today
a
has
pledge,
been Kata Mohammed,
like His Excellency,
Assistant Chief Commissioner
the
in
President
charge
of the Republic of
membership,
Uganda,
registration
Yoweri
and
Kaguta
recruitment
Museveni, came here
at
in 22
littlesimba.com.
to close a similar camp.
Thank you.
Then they had some pledges which he put here, and it should be clear that we don't actually keep emphasizing on it. It's a reminder, it's a kind reminder that this was there, and at an appropriate time, I'm very sure His Excellency the President will give us these pledges that he has promised. Scouts will keep waiting. They are all there in writing. I don't want to emphasize on it because Excellency the Vice President who came and presided over it was given the memorandum from the Chief Commissioner of Scouts together with the Chief Scout, and the pledges were included. They were enshrined in those documents, and definitely the patron will get to know what was deliberated here. Yes.
Then I heard about the problem of land grabbing at Kaazi camping site. So far, what was the total area of the land owned by scouts, and so far, how many now do you have, and how are we going to recover the stolen or the grabbed land? And because I've had even the military she partly engaged in.
You see, it is true that originally this land is Kaazi camping site and training center, which is a center known regionally in Africa and internationally for the scouts. Original on the mother title, it is 120.1 acres, which was given to the scouts by His Royal Highness King Daudi Chua, who was a scout himself. So when he gave this for the scouts, we didn't have problems. But there were land grabbers who were disturbing the camp from the southern side. You see, the position of Kaazi is in a prime area. So the majority of people want to grab this area so that they develop it for personal use. And that's where our quarrel is. This land is not for us. We found it here. Our ancestors left it here. We are using it now. We should not also waste it. Plus the environment, we should protect it and leave it for the young generation, the young youth you have seen here. Those under 10, those in the teenage, up to the age of 26, the venture scouts. We have to hand it over to them because it doesn't belong to us. So no individual has a right to dispose it off for selfish use, individual use, or individual gain. So we have that issue, but it has already been expressed to various organs of government, and I'm very sure steps will be taken. But we insist that this land is not for sale, and let's work as a team, not to be selfish, to use it for ourselves, but to give it, give the youth to enjoy it now, and then when they grow up, they also give it to the new generation, the future generation that is coming. So we relentlessly continue to protect it, but on our own we cannot protect, because when we go away, then this place is vulnerable. People come and encroach on it. Of course, it's true, the land grabbers come and intimidate the scouts, that they have some connection with the military, which we don't believe. It's spoiling the good name of the military. But I think that matter has already been forwarded to the high offices in government. So all those ones who are trying to intimidate scouts and those who pretend to be coming from government offices and government organs definitely will be identified and corrective measures used.
So how have I stopped coming here when we are still on the issue of the gentleman called the Light, the CEO of the Light, who seems to be building a hotel there and degrading the environment and cutting trees. How have you concluded? Is he leaving our land, or we are still in the discussion to see how we can compensate?
Yeah, it's true. Delight, they bought land from our previous leaders. But the problem is they bought land without getting permission from the National Council, which is the supreme organ of the Scout Association. So we term that one illegal sale, because the process in every procurement, according to the Scouts, if they identified an area to be sold, they should have come with their papers and documents presented to the board, because the Board of Trustees is below the National Scout Board, which is a policy-making organ of the association. Then the board would look at it, they deliberate upon it. Once they have concluded, they bring it to the National Council, which is the supreme organ, to give it a blessing. This was not done, so most of these sales was done during the COVID period, when there was restriction in movement and operation, public gathering. So we call this illegal undertaking, because that time there was restriction in movement, no offices were working, and that's when they operated. And they sold a big chunk. They sold about 10 plots with demarcations, and we hear there are even titles made for those 10 plots. So we are saying we are not relaxing. We shall pursue a way of recovering all this land, because it was sold illegally.
Yes. So thank your committee and members and your patrons for making this event successful, and thanking scouts who have participated all over the country and all over Africa.
So on behalf of Uganda Scout Association and the Uganda Scout National Council, I would like to thank all the stakeholders, beginning with the district officials, the heads of schools and institutions, the chief administrative officers who facilitated the scouts from the different districts, the town clerks, the city clerks, the head teachers of the various schools who facilitated and allowed the pupils or the students to come here for the camp. And we would like also to thank the parents who allowed their children to come and have 5 days with us on this camp. I would like to extend our bigger appreciation to the Central Organizing Committee under the Chief Commissioner of Scouts, the members of the board, and all partners who helped us in organizing this camp. And then we would like to send our utmost thanks and appreciation to His Excellency the President for having been supportive to the Scouts in Uganda and by allowing the Vice President to come and step in for him to close this camp. We are very grateful. We are grateful to the press that have been covering us right from the beginning up to the end, and the medical team that was here, the neighbors that were here, the business community. We are grateful. So thank you for those who I have not even mentioned, and I encourage parents, institutions, encourage the youth to join Scouting, because that's the best way to have them train physically, mentally, socially, and in all aspects, so that they become good citizens in future, so that they become patriotic, so that they can stand on themselves, by themselves, to become supportive to other people also in the organization. Thank you very much.
Scouts are praying.
Thank you very much. Once again, we appreciate.
Small scouts in Africa to Uganda to come for competitions, but you find that the land we are remaining with may not be enough. So, Madam, I'm requesting that before the African Jamboree, if you can help us to get our land back. These are purported land grabbers who have no proper documents, but they worked with some of the people who claimed to be scouts. Madam, I want to recognize and tell you that we as leaders, we stand in to help and direct the youth.